Both USC and UCLA will learn where to book their tickets for bowl games today. The winter meetings also open today, and the national press still has no idea what the hell the Dodgers are going to be doing. And Matthew Stafford comes out of concussion protocol only to go on IR because Rams. Hi, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is Sunday, December 4th, 2022. It is Christmas season, and I am not just talking about the annoying Mariah Carey song. Take a moment. Thank the Lord for being here, if you believe in such a thing, as of course I do. I want to start off also by thanking the new subscriber for joining the Angelino familia. Thank you for getting in on the ground floor. Always appreciate you guys. In the meantime, if you like the content we put out about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And yeah, comment. I like hearing from you guys. I'm a loser that way. Now, before we go through today's news and notes, quickly at the scoreboard. The extremely short-handed Clippers got smoked by Sacramento 123-96. Brandon Boston Jr. lead the Clippers 18 points. How unknown is that man? No disrespect, he only averages 3.8 points per game. Meanwhile, Samuel Fagemo scores his first NHL goal, but Carolina beats the Kings 4-2. That was a lousy homestand for the Kings. 1-1-2. There's no getting around it. Meanwhile, today, the Chargers are in Las Vegas. Kickoff against the Raiders, 1:25 p.m. There is a preview of that game on the Chargers playlist. Seattle's in town to play the Rams at 1. Preview of that game on the Rams playlist. Lakers at Wizards, 3 o'clock. Anthony Davis is averaging 27.2 points per game. Oregon is at number 21 ranked UCLA basketball at 2. Question for you if you're a Bruins fan. Do the Bruins play too slow? Some analytics spaz claims that the Bruins rank 100th in the nation in terms of average possession time. Do they walk the ball up too much? Oregon State is at USC at 4. The Trojans rarely get off to a good start in the Pac-12 season. If the Trojans win today, it is only the third time that they've gone 2-0 to start the Pac-12 season in 12 years. 12 years. Speaking of both UCLA and USC, the fates for both the Trojans and Bruins football teams will be revealed sometime between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. today. After the choices for both teams are made, I will come on with a rapid recap to break down what could happen, including a quick preview of the opponents. No predictions. It's way too early for any of that talk. Quickly, though, we'll go through some of the projections from major media outlets. Multiple outlets are projecting USC to play in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas on January 2nd, with UCLA going to the Sun Bowl on December 30th. But let's just speak the obvious. If they're all saying the same thing, it's yet another example of groupthink in the modern media. The winter meetings begin today at the Manchester Grand Hyatt in San Diego. They're going to last through Wednesday. Now, you might be tempted to walk in and ask Andrew Freeman to bring back Cody Bellinger because your sister thinks he's hot, but you can't. It's closed to the public. Now, please notice, for the last week, we have had the whiteboard of players, idiots, sports writers think the Dodgers are interested in, right? We crossed off 2 names yesterday. We added another one in. There is a reporter who believes that the Dodgers really, really, really love designated hitter JD Martinez. So we added him to this scroll of stupidity. A designated hitter. I get that the National League has the DH now, but the Dodgers interested in somebody who doesn't play multiple positions? How often does that happen? We know what happened with Freddie Freeman, but other than that, how often does that happen? Even Mookie Betts will play the infield for the Dodgers. And you're telling me that the Dodgers are going to go out of their way to try to sign somebody who, for all we know, doesn't even have a mitt? Yeah, the Dodgers are interested. JD Martinez has played for 4 teams. Last year, he hit .274 with 16 home runs for the Red Sox. Now, By the way, I want to end this part of the clip with one thought that I hope hits sports journalists like a lead pipe to the groin. 25 names are on that list. If you want to know who they are, stop the clip, take a look, blah, 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 blah. For all the names listed, for all of these mind-blowing rumors, are any signings or trades involving the Dodgers imminent? No, they're not. So stop telling me that this is going to be this massive ass haul of as many as 25 different players to the Dodgers. Matthew Stafford's future became suddenly clearer and suddenly opaque, which I have to say impresses the hell out of me, because when the Rams were at their best, they ran their offense that was both obvious and opaque, right? It was always 11 personnel. It was always one guy, usually like Robert Woods, going in motion. And you're sitting, oh my God, it's the same formation. Is it going to be the dive? Is it going to be the jet sweep, the play action? So yeah, Rams style, clearly opaque, awesome. What they did do was place their quarterback on injured reserve on Saturday. Now, back in the day, IR meant you were done for the year. Now it's simply a 4-week recovery period. In this case, though, that 4 weeks will take Stafford all the way up to the final weekend of the regular season. We could probably be safe guessing the Rams will not let him play then either. He hasn't played for a couple of weeks after he was sacked in New Orleans. Stafford's been placed twice in the concussion protocol, but that second time, and again, opaque, unclear, hazy. The Rams didn't even, they put him in the concussion protocol, but the Rams didn't even say Stafford had a concussion. Then he clears the protocol, so they put him on IR. Why? We don't know. It's not for a concussion. They didn't say it was for neck pain. They didn't say it was for shoulder pain. They didn't say any of it. They just put him on. So the more I read about it, the more I feel like I'm the one who has brain damage. It's all this big gooey mess. The only thing I can say is something I mentioned on the clip yesterday. It's my guess that Sean McVay was basically saying, you know what? He came into the season with shoulder problems. Now he's got neck and head pain. Screw it. Take the month off. Come back next year 100%. We pushed our luck. Totally didn't work. Yesterday, a person who comments regularly on my clips asked why John Wolford is the starting quarterback for the day with the Rams instead of Bryce Perkins. Her rationale is that Perkins is the future. Now, I am by no means an oracle in these matters, but McVay was asked the same thing by the scribes. McVay hinted that both Perkins and Wolford may play today against the Seahawks. It's just that Wolford is getting his first crack at it. He has more experience. And by the way, in case you're wondering, the Rams have last won a game October 16th. Halloween decorations were still up. We weren't singing Mariah Carey to each other. Aaron Donald will also skip today's game. He injured his ankle last week, and thus we can break out the adding insult to injury cliche. The NHL has fined him about $15,000 for a hit to the Chiefs' Patrick Mahomes. That is according to Kansas City media outlets. You know, scribes love to determine instant winners in trades. I know this from experience. Considering the Rams, you know, right now, sports writers are perfectly willing to pile on LA, but they damn sure weren't singing that tune in February when LA was hoisting up the Lombardi Trophy. So keep that judgmental nature in mind when I tell you that the Hockey News has declared just 1/4 of the way into the season that the Kings were the decisive winners in the Kevin Fiala trade. Now, LA sent a first-round pick and defensive prospect Brock Faber to Minnesota for Fiala. The Wild were up against the cap. They needed space. That's why they had to trade the guy. Fiala has 8 goals, 20 assists in 26 games. Minnesota is having a lot of trouble scoring, meanwhile. But it's 1/4 of the way through the season, right? Are we so willing to judge a trade just 20 games after it was made? Well, if you're in the press, you are. I get it. 26-year-old point-scoring machines aren't easy to find on eBay, so I'm glad the dude is here. but these things take years to come up with a final determination. Let's not close the door just yet. We talked a lot about the Lakers' strategy of instead of, oh, here's a hot new trade rumor. And I'm very happy that we've talked trade strategy instead of throwing just a ton of names against a whiteboard, right? Because the names that are thrown around have been mostly used for clickbait. But when Adrian Wojnarowski speaks, it is a totally different story to me. So consider the Chicago Bulls. Previously thought to be a team on the rise, but they're stinking up the joint this year. They're only 9-13. Pretty much their losses, the Bulls' losses are growing higher than the Chicago murder rate. Can we just put it that way? Lonzo Ball's recovery from whatever has been slow. Gee, that's a shock, I know. Teams are now circling Chicago like sharks and blood in the lake. Just trying to figure out which players that they might be able to pry away from the Bulls. Now, I'm not going to tell you what names are being bandied about because that's when it becomes pure speculation. I want you to know, though, that the Lakers are in the hunt, looking at the Bulls roster for if Chicago decides to pull the plug. Although I can't say with confidence they don't want Lonzo Ball. We still don't have an exact return date for either Kawhi Leonard or Paul George. We do know they are joining the Clippers on their road trip, which means they could play in any game at any time. Both missed out on Saturday's game. They've each missed a half a dozen consecutive games. They also, however, did participate in Friday's practice. Luke Kennard and Norman Powell also are injured, but also hopped on the plane. The only thing I have to say about it, whenever the coach has to go to the press to assure the fan base that the players want to play, that's not a good look. It just isn't. But that's exactly what Tyrone Lue said yesterday. So again, I'm starting to wonder how badly the Clippers really want to win. I mean, I don't doubt it necessarily for Paul George. I don't know. Before I started this channel, I thought Alex Jones was the slimiest person in news. I was wrong. It's anybody in the foreign soccer press. There is a report that Club America has a contract to offer Carlos Vela. So I want to repeat this for everyone who believes that Carlos Vela is going back to Mexico. Carlos Vela is under contract with LAFC, and LAFC have no desire to let him go. Boom. You can't just take him away. That's called kidnapping. And I think even though I read a lot of stories about kidnappings in Tijuana, I don't think internationally recognized soccer strikers are that easy to pluck. Okay? I'm just saying. I think LAFC would insist you can't kidnap their most compelling striker. Just a thought. Now, let me know what you think in the comments thread about the USC or UCLA possibilities for the Bulls. What about the winter meetings? Hell, what about Carlos Vela? And by the way, if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk LA sports every day. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back later today with updates on both the Bulls and the NFL. And Faithful Angelenos is again Corte El Queso production. Take care.